talk about the PILCS program, which we'll get to, and then talk about the Pro Bono Recognition Award program, and finally talk about the Pro Bono Placement program. So, to begin, we'll start with some introductions. My name is Sienna, I'm a 2L here, and I'm a coordinator with Public Interest Locker Services. I am interested in public interest work because I would like to work in providing legal services to underserved populations, such as non-English speakers, low-income individuals, and people living in rural areas. And this is Yan, she's the other public interest coordinator. Do you want to?
Sure. I'm Yan Lee, and I'm a 3L, so probably some of you have seen me spoken before. I'm interested in public interest in general, but particularly in immigration. So if any of you are interested in immigration, feel free to talk to me.
Okay. And we like to get to know a little bit about those in the audience. Could those of you who are 1Ls raise your hands? So, and 2Ls? Any 3Ls? Any 4Ls? Great. Awesome. Okay, all right, so just to talk a little bit about what Public Interest Law Career Services is, or we'll refer to it often as PILCS. It's a student-run program by Ann and myself that provides current SU law students and graduates with information and opportunities for employment in the public interest, public sector. And also we provide information about doing pro bono work. So I will begin talking about the Pro Bono Recognition Award program, which is something that PILCS organizes and puts together. It is to recognize the pro bono work that Santa Clara University law students do throughout this semester, well, throughout the entire year. So in order to get a Pro Bono Recognition Award, students have to put forth 40 hours, at least 40 hours, 50 hours of not for credit and not for compensation work during the period of May 1st to April 30th, 2013. So often people do more than 50 hours, but the minimum is 50 hours of not for credit, not for pay work. So what that means, so for the hours that you do to qualify, it would be representing people of limited financial means, limited access to legal representation, assisting with nonprofit, civic, community, religious, and governmental organizations. And the work that you do needs to be supervised because you need to have someone that signs off on the hours that you do. The work needs to be uncompensated, meaning no, you're not paid for the work, and also you haven't received a grant or a fellowship for that work. And it also needs to be not for course credit. Although hours that you work beyond the requirement for a class can be counted as pro bono hours. You also can't use the hours to satisfy any other academic requirements, with one exception, which is the Public Interest Social Justice Certificate. You can double up for those hours. So basically the pro bono hours are hours that you're doing just strictly volunteering. You're not getting any pay, you're not getting any credit for those hours. All right, and the forms are due on March 22nd, so that's just to keep in mind that you want to make sure that you have those 50 hours done and signed off for by March 22nd. Calendar that date, and you can sort of maybe plan your time between now and March 2nd to make sure that you're staying on track to get your 50 hours finished. So this is sort of what I went over just to review, that the volunteer work is assisting people of limited financial means or people with limited access to legal representation. You are going to have someone need to sign off on it, and no compensation for the hours that you're putting in. Okay, so just some examples of what kind of activities will qualify for the Pro Bono Award. work that you do with nonprofit organizations, clerkships, as long as you're not getting credit for it, or hours that you put into your clerkship beyond what you're getting credit for. And then community education and mentorship programs, advice and referral clinics, also like providing translation services, those kinds of things. And then volunteer work with like church and community organizations, those do count. You just need to make sure that there's someone that will sign off on the hours. And if you are looking for some ideas to get a few extra hours to get the recognition award, we do have some references of local community organizations that you can volunteer with. They are up here.
And there's some the application form for the pro bono recognition program, and also the description of more in detail what kind of work qualifies, what kind of doesn't. So take a look at the description and make sure you get one of those application forms. Get your supervisor signed by the due date of March 20.
Yeah, so these I just grabbed from over there. This is where you can come grab them afterwards. This is the form that you'll need to fill out. Looks like that. You don't need to get this today if you think you'll lose it before March. It is available on the website, and you can always come up to the Law Career Services. We're on the second floor, and we can get you a copy. This white one here, Pro Bono Recognition Programs on the top, is just additional information about the Pro Bono Recognition program. And again, you can also find this on the website. And then finally, this is here what I was talking about. It's in goldenrod over here. It's just some local volunteer opportunities. If you would like some ideas about ways to get a few more pro bono hours. For example, there's like volunteering. There's a nonprofit organic farm. It's one of my favorite ones in Los Altos called Hidden Villa. It's pretty cool. And also things like the food bank in Santa Clara and such. So if you need some ideas, in goldenrod, it's over there. And let's see if there's stuff that doesn't qualify. All right. There are some things that don't qualify, so we'll just state those now so there's no confusion. Again, paid position stuff for credit, as I already mentioned, and then also club leadership on campus is not considered for the Pro Bono Award, and then attending the law-related symposiums, conference, and panel discussions, like for example, coming here today would not be counted towards your Pro Bono Award. Also, fundraising activities related to the clubs does not count for the Pro Bono Award, but I believe if the club
if the club goes out, many clubs actually do pro bono work or volunteer work outside as a club. If you're participating in those events, that hour will count. But you do need to get a signature from whoever is highest.
Okay. One last note, that the Pro Bono Award is tiered. There is bronze, silver, and gold recognition, so you work your way up. Bronze recognition is the first year of receiving the award. It doesn't have to be done in your first year. It's just the first year that you get it. So second and third year students would get the bronze award the first year that they meet the requirements of the Pro Bono Recognition Award. Second year is the silver, and third year is gold. And then there's some additional awards. There's the graduating student of the year. If you get gold recognition, so I guess as a 3L or a 4L, you are eligible to be the Pro Bono graduating student of the year. And there's also a Pro Bono student of the year, which is for one student of any tiered recognition, correct? It would be bronze or silver or gold
For the student.
Yeah. So any tier, but it's a one student that really goes above and beyond and just does an exceptional job of doing pro bono work during that year. They get a special recognition. Anything you'd like to add?
Well, actually just a few things. How many of you did some pro bono work this summer? Great. So that hour actually counts because the 50 hours is for academic year, which means from May 1st to April 30th. So if you did any work during the summer, make sure you get signature from your supervisor and you can submit that. And some of you may not finish all the 50-hour requirement by the deadline, which is March 22nd. But since it's until April the 30th, just let us know that you will complete and make sure you do, because we trust you to complete. And we will get your names on our list and then we'll recognize you and award you. So just in case you're wondering what do I get from this pro bono recognition program. So like Sienna said, there are 3 tiers of recognition or the award. So you get a nice, very nice looking plaque, which is gold or silver or bronze, and then the year you get recognition. Also, you are invited to our annual luncheon at the end of the spring semester. Faculties, we had Dean Bowden to come the past couple of years. So it is a very, how can I say, not official, professional and formal, well, not that formal, it's kind of formal and casual, but it is a very nice luncheon, so we will invite you to that if you qualify for this award. Also, the signature, to make things easier, if I know a lot of attorneys, they're busy, so they might not be able to hand the form to you. So in that case, we do receive fax. So you can email them or fax them the form with your information filled and the detail of your, the description of your work, and ask them to just sign and then fax it to our office. That will be fine.
Yeah, also there was a sign-in sheet going around. Has it gotten to everybody yet? Anyone not get the sign-in sheet? All right,
So are you done? Yeah. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the... Oh, I'm sorry. Yes. Take your time.
When you say volunteer work with nonprofit organizations, that means legal work, right?
Actually, no. It doesn't have to be legal work. As long as it's not paid, not for no compensation, which we explained before, no credit, no payment. But you do have to be supervised by someone. So if you, let's say, you go to church and then do some volunteer work, that qualifies, even if it's not legal work. Okay. Any other questions about this recognition program? Okay, great. So now I will talk about the placement program. This pro bono placement program is sponsored by the Center of Social Justice and Public Interest. And Deborah Moss-West here is the director of, assistant director of the center. And she will be talking about, later she will be talking about how you can successfully do your placement. But now I will talk about what the placement is and how you can sign up for the placement program. So the hours you're required, the commitment you're required to make for this placement program is about 3 to 10 hours a week, but it depends on the organization. So I'm sorry, I think I just missed what this program is. So this is a program where we place you as a student with one of our public service organization, a local organization, and you will do volunteer work with them for 3 to 10 hours, depending on the organization, depending on your own schedule. So this process doesn't involve any formal application to the employer or interview process to the employer. You sign up through us, and then we will place you with one of the organizations. So as I mentioned, the hour commitment, it is not much, but it is important that you stick to your commitment. So whatever hours you determine with your employer, make sure that you can commit to those hours every week. So also it is important to just have 2-hour slot for every day, because you really can't get any work done within 1 hour. So make sure your schedule fits, and sometimes though the employer will, or the type of work they do, for example, they do a 1-hour clinic, then that will be fine. But otherwise, just try to get 2-hour slot for every day that you go to the organization. And there are some, depending on the organization, they have different requirements, and some of the placements are open only to 2 hours. The reasons varies, but the main reason is that they require legal research skill and legal writing skills. So I won't say every 1L doesn't have this skill, but we have had issue with 1Ls don't know how to use Westlaw or Lexis. So some of the employers do require 2L or 3L or above. So make sure you meet those requirements. So these are some examples of our past placements. Some of them are nonprofit organizations, some of them are government agencies. So we will post the list of employers for this semester later this week. And we will send you an email with the list and instruction on how to sign up. But for now, when does the placement begin? Usually it begins on the September 10th, the week of September 10th. But as I mentioned, each organization is different. Some organizations, for example, if you are going to work for the court, for federal agency, they may require you to take a fingerprint. In that case, your actual start date might delay a little bit, but usually it's around September 10th. And how do I sign up? Okay, this is important, pay attention here. So we will send you an email, like I mentioned, with all the list of organizations and the instructions, more in detail instructions, when you can sign up. But basically it is next Monday, the 27th at noon. We chose this time so that you don't have any class, or you're not commuting to school. So hopefully this works for everyone. And the reason we really emphasize this is because this sign-up process is first come and first serve. And for the past couple semesters, we had a lot of students wanting to do this program, so they sign up really quickly, which means the slots goes away quickly. This semester we have around 30 slots available for students. So make sure you sign up as soon as possible, at 12 o'clock I would suggest. And we do have an ending deadline, which is on Wednesday, 29th at 5 o'clock. So any application after that will not be considered. Although we have this 3 days period, from our experiments, it's really just the first day that students sign up will actually get the placement. So make sure you sign up as early as possible. I can't stress enough. Okay, and let's see. So this is a timeline. On August 23rd, which is Thursday, I believe, we will email you the list and the instructions. And then, so you can, during the weekend, you can think about which organization you want to work with, you want to volunteer with. And we give you 2 choices. So you can list your top 2 organizations you want to work for.
They'll probably be ready.
Okay, so 3 probably. Okay, but since we have around 13 organizations you can pick from. Make sure you really choose one. Do some research over the weekend. What do they do that interests you? And make a wise choice since you have only limited amount you can choose. And there is a, on the sign-up form, which is on the website. I will send you the link at noon on Monday. So on that form, there is a box you can check which says, if you get not placed with your top 3 preference, do you still want to get other placement? So if you just want to get some legal work experience and you don't really know which organization, then make sure you check that. Otherwise, we will just send you an email and say, I'm sorry, we're sorry you didn't get placed. So make sure you do each items on the registration form, application form. And after you sign up, then you will receive a confirmation email saying that you can be placed. You may be placed with one of your choices. And that will happen in early September. And it is important to remember you have to reply within 24 hours in order to keep your slot there. So to be fair for all students, we usually don't give out exceptions, so make sure you reply within 24 hours. And after you confirm, okay, I do accept this offer, or I do want to work with this organization, then there will be follow-up email to instruct you how you can contact the organization directly or where to go from there. So just look up your emails, and it'll be your SCU email, so make sure, for those of you who don't check that, make sure you check your SCU email. And then once you and the organization agree the date you start, then you start for the semester. And usually the placement will end in mid-November, hopefully before you really get to start studying for the final. So those things you can talk with your employer, but usually it's mid-November so that you can get a full experience for the semester. And as I mentioned earlier, it's important that when you apply, you make sure you qualify for all the things that the organization requires. So when I sent you the list of organizations, it actually has their description, what they do, and then their requirements. Some organizations require language skill. They require, for example, Spanish or Chinese or French. It's rare, but maybe. So make sure that you qualify for those, because if you don't qualify and then you are on the top of the waiting list, then you don't qualify, so you don't get it. So make sure you qualify, make sure you do a wise choice of the organizations you pick. Okay? Okay, so now I would ask Deborah to talk about how you can successfully complete your volunteer with one of the organizations. Okay.
So hello everyone and welcome. So I'm just going to talk for just a few minutes. And the first, I did want to add a few comments about the Pro Bono placement project, and that's that it's a wonderful opportunity for you to serve the community, but also show or put Santa Clara Law on the map. And what do I mean by that? Show some of the organizations that Santa Clara Law students are equipped, ready, willing, and able to serve our local legal community. Most of the organizations that we've contacted have Santa Clara Law alums there. They really want you there. They want to not only expand the legal resources that are available for their client community, but they also want to help you be successful. So go in there ready, willing, and able to work. Treat it like a regular internship. a few of the organizations mention that 2-hour block. And again, that's because when you come in, it might take them 5 or 10 minutes to explain to you what the particular project is that you're working on. And a 2-hour chunk is just really helpful. Of course, if it's a clinic, as Yan mentioned, you know, it might just be an hour. So again, just remember when you go, you are ambassadors for Santa Clara Law, and you're really paving the way for other law students to come after you, as well as the opportunity for you to engage with that organization later and other legal services organizations like them. So really take it seriously, which I'm sure that you all will. Another thing that I wanted to mention about the Pro Bono Placement Project, it's unique in that you don't have to interview for the slot. You just have to make sure you meet their minimum qualifications. So take it seriously what they say as far as what they're looking for in a student. If they are looking for someone that will be able to do research and writing, and you know that you don't have that experience just yet, that's probably not the right placement for you. But if they're looking for someone with strong communication skills or that has experience working with that client community, then that's who you want to sign up for. So just think about the placement. Think about the placement because you want to be successful there. As Yan mentioned, the sign-up started about 12 o'clock. They do fill up pretty quickly, so definitely look at your look at the PILC's website on Friday so you know which organizations are available. Think about it over the weekend so that then you can sign up. Another wonderful thing, there are just about 30 placements available, and so obviously not everyone will get placed, but we really feel that everyone who wants to volunteer doing legal work can volunteer. Perhaps not in the organization of your first choice, but somewhere. So after this process is over, PILCs as well as folks at the center, we also will work with you to find a legal placement if you need that. So just wanted to mention that. One other thing wanted to mention is the pro bono recognition hours also count towards your certificate if you're interested in the public interest and social justice certificate. Within the certificate program, 50 hours are required throughout your law school career of volunteering. Just like with the pro bono recognition program, it doesn't, those 50 hours don't have to be working in a legal services organization. It's just serving the community. There is a component that has to be with a legal service organization, but those 50 hours are just like the pro bono recognition program, 50 hours serving the community. So there's some nice synergy there. So you'll meet more than one requirement by participating and doing pro bono work. But I know you guys are doing it because you care, not so much because of the recognition and awards that you will qualify for. And again, it has to be working with individuals with limited financial means. The nice thing is, right on the website for PILCs, you can see all of the requirements there, so you don't have to remember everything that we say here. So I was asked to come up and talk a little bit about professionalism, which we talked about a bit before. Thank you. I'll show you a slide after. And that's just, of course, a few pointers. Dress code. You might get to the office and you see everyone is casual. We recommend to people that you always, at least go in the first day, dress professionally. Then you might adjust your dress a little bit down based on the workplace that you're in. We also recommend that you really don't go less than business casual, right? So no shorts, you guys know what business casual is, right? You know what it is. But you might see that other people in the office come in shorts and flip-flops and other things like that. And we really think that because you're just starting out, first impressions count. And so you just serve yourself well by looking as professional as possible. So just err on the side of looking presentable. The other reason you want to make sure that you dress professional is because you never know when you might have the opportunity to go to the courthouse, to meet a judge, to meet other attorneys. You might get a client that's more formal, and you miss that opportunity if you come to work and you're not dressed properly. You just won't get to go, or maybe you'll get to go, but you may have to sit kind of in the back and not necessarily get introduced. So don't miss your opportunity by not dressing or by dressing inappropriately. Computer use. Everybody has, we all have our little handhelds, we have our laptops, etc. Remember that when you're at work, especially at the Pro Bono Placement Project, where you're only there for 3, maybe 10 hours a week, to use your time doing the work that's of that office. So really refrain from using especially their computer systems, but even your own to do personal things. It's not too nice for them to walk by and see on your laptop on Facebook or something like that. I know our students would never do that. I'm saying it because sometimes, every now and then someone forgets. It's good for us to hear it. I have to remind myself of that sometimes too. So anyway, make sure that your handheld devices, your cell phone isn't ringing when you're in the office, etc. Let's see, anything else? When you get there, also familiarize yourself with the email and internet policy. Even if you're using your own devices, some organizations don't communicate much via email with opposing counsel, with other parties, with matters dealing with their organization. So if someone asks you to do something, find out from them how they want you to do that. Do they want you to email? Do they want you to call? What type of information you can email? So just make sure you know what the computer and the internet use policy is. I talked about cell phones, talked about texting. Same for iPads, iPods, other electronic devices. Every now and then some people are doing work that they may consider more rote. Make sure you don't wear headphones. Every now and then I'll go in some place and people will have on, their earbuds because they're doing something really rote and they can do it while they're listening to music. That's probably not a good idea because then people have to touch you to talk to you and things like that. I know this seems very elementary, but we just want to make sure everyone knows it. And then the same for texting. Try your best not to text within the workplace. Stay off your handhelds. Just really be professional. All of the things that you all know, but we're mentioning it because these are every now and then the comments that we hear. Not so much only about Santa Clara students, right? But just in general, we'll hear that about the workplace. And so we just want to remind you all. And as we remind you, we're also reminding ourselves because we have to try to make sure we remain professional as well. So any questions about anything?
I have one thing I would like to stress. It might be obvious